You're listening to Hey Pal, What's New with JohnAlex and Greg. Hey Pal, What's New is a GBR production. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and all other social media platforms. Hey Pal, What's New can be found on Spotify, Twitch, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google, Podbean, Pandora, and all your other favorite podcast locations. Warning, Hey Pal, What's New contains explicit content. JohnAlex and Greg are a pair of vulgar Gen Xers. If you are easily offended, please stop listening and go download a nice tame podcast like the Goop Podcast. You have been warned.
What the hell just happened?
What the?
Hold on.
Hey there, hi there, ho there. Hey everybody, it's Hey Pal, what's new? We're back. This time we're in the garage. We're trying to be like Mark Maron and be cool and hip. I don't have a.
We're failing. I'm failing.
I don't have a flannel on, and I don't have facial hair. But hey, man, we're gonna do the best that we can. So, hey everybody, it's back. We're back. It's Hey Pal, what's new? I'm Greg, and this is my hetero life man over here, JohnAlex. And yeah, it's been a while.
It's been like a month since we've actually been in the same room together.
Yeah, spoiler alert, kids. Those last couple episodes, they were pre-taped.
No, they weren't.
Shh. It was really funny because one time
we were lip syncing.
Well, when we did the late to the party episode, it was funny because I was at home and my girl starts texting me and she's like talking on the live feed and she's just like, "Oh, you didn't tell me you were podcasting." I'm like, "I'm not. I'm watching it at home right now."
That's so funny.
So even my girl didn't know, but it's all right. But yeah, we're back, man. We're back live. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
We're at the GBR studios.
Yes, we're at GBR today in the hot box, the basement.
It is a little toasty down. Well, it's not that it's the basement. It's that it's the
garage. Yeah, but it's all right. We'll get naked later.
The garage band days. We're doing a Metallica garage band days.
Yeah, we're keeping it old school.
And I have been on a fucking Metallica tear lately.
Have you really?
Yeah, I blame it on Stranger Things because with Master of Puppets being like the big song on the show, like my kids are listening to it, and I mean even Anastasia's walking around. Not that she wasn't before, but I mean I saw her today. She's wearing a freaking Metallica t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I mean all those bands are cashing in between. And it's not even just season 4. Like,
no,
we started playing in the cover band. We started playing "Running Up That Hill."
Yep.
And we started playing "Should I Stay or Should I Go" from the Clash.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw my personal Facebook post where I put the plea out like, "Hey, I have always wanted to see Minor Threat live."
Yes.
So, hey, Stranger Things, can you feature a Minor Threat song next season? Kind of forcing the hand of the band to maybe we should get back together and do like a quick little reunion tour. Because that is one of those tours. Like I wouldn't pay the fucking $150 for what was it? Circle Jerk? No, Suicidal Tendencies and was it Misfits?
It was Misfits and when they were doing the stadium tours.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for that.
It was like $200 a ticket. I'm like for a punk rock band.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie though. If Minor Threat got back together and did like club shows at like $100 a ticket, I'd pay it. I'd pay it in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah. I don't see Ian MacKaye doing that though.
No, I've never gotten to see them live. I've always wanted to see them live.
Same.
I mean, I think they broke up. I think
they were broken up when we were just getting into them.
I know. And then even Fugazi, when Fugazi was going, I was like, they broke up like right after that too.
We did see Fugazi though. Remember, we saw them at the Chance. Yeah, no, it's weird. It's like when you're younger and then you kind of get hip to certain bands. Like I remember, all of a sudden getting into like Led Zeppelin and being like, "Oh my God, this band is great. I would love to see them." Well, they've been done since '84. So
well, yeah, and I will tell you, no matter how many times Yankee has asked me, like I've always loved Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
they still were touring and doing stuff, but I never went to see them because
no, me neither.
I like listening to them, but they're not the kind of band that I'm like, I need to go see them live. I did see Heart live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they opened up for, was it? No, it was when Illusion opened up for Heart at Orange County Speedway. Remember that? There was like
vaguely
1 year Illusion got to open up at Orange County Speedway, and it was like they threw him on stage before Hart played.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's where I saw Huey Lewis in the news too, is at the Orange County Fairgrounds. And they were supposed to have an opening act that never showed up, so like the guitarist for Huey Lewis came out and told a joke. and the joke, ready? Here, I'll give you the joke.
Okay.
So, Cinderella wants to go out and about on the town. So her fairy godmother comes to her and is like, look, you got to go up, but you got to be careful. And she's like, well, I'm going to make you. And I had no idea what this. She's like, I'm going to give you a, what was it? Not an IUD. It's like a cervical cap.
Okay.
Or some shit like that. She's like, she takes a pumpkin and turns it into a cervical cap. And I'm killing the fucking joke because I'm not remembering it properly. But the whole punchline of the joke was like, you know, she's like, but you got to be back before midnight because it turns back into a pumpkin at midnight. So fairy godmother's sitting there watching, you know, Jerry Springer or whatever on TV. And she's like, do infomercials late night. It's like 11 o'clock. She's like, oh, she'll be home soon. 11:30, 12 o'clock. She's like, oh my God, she's not back yet. Well, maybe she's on her way. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. She's not back. 4 o'clock, she rolls in, dress all tattered, hair array, and fucking just disheveled as all fuck. And the fairy godmother's like, I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? She's like, well, I went to the party, and I know you said that my IUD turns back into a pumpkin at midnight, but like I'm at the party and I met this guy, and we started fooling around. She's like, well, who is this guy? She's like, his name was Peter. And like, and the audience is filled with like kids, like teenagers, like me, and it's like I didn't get the joke. I was like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
it was like years later, and here goes my mic again, making that fucking noise.
Yeah, John's microphone today is a bit of a wind tunnel today, but we're gonna figure it out.
I think it's if Daryl was watching, he'd be like, "Oh, it's the humidity. You shouldn't be doing it. That's a very sensitive microphone." But it's not. We tried other microphones, and it made noise, and I don't know what it is. It's not my cable because we used your cable, and it didn't do it. It's not the actual microphone because we used a different microphone and it did the same thing. So who the fuck knows?
AIDS.
I don't know. Maybe, you know what? I think my podcast board has monkeypox.
It probably does.
I think I touched it and it got the monkeypox. So.
Oh yeah. So anyway.
So how was your week? What'd you do?
Well, I mean, how's my past few weeks? Yeah. So let's see what happened then. I got the big casino there, Uncle June.
Oh God! And okay, I'm not cancer people. Don't get all freaked out.
No, it's the
big C,
the C19,
the other C.
Yeah, that we're trying to be good because
the
we don't want to get
I got the C19.
The C19, Uncle June. Yeah, no, I finally succumbed to it. I went on vacation. I went to the Borgata with my lovely girl, and we had a great time. And then I got back, and all of a sudden it was like, it's a long drive. It's like 3-4 hour drive. So I'm like, okay. And then, I'm talking to my mom, and she's like, "How was it?" I'm like, "Oh God, I just really feel."
Oh, that's how it starts.
Like tired, like I just feel tired and achy. Maybe it's the long drive. Take a COVID test, negative. I'm like, okay, great. Go to sleep. That night, it was like chills, fever, headache, all this stuff, and I was just like, I have to have it. So I got up that next morning, took another test, boom, positive. So, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm still...
Well, no, you're vaccinated. So they say that the symptoms were lessened since you're vaccinated.
I will say that, I actually, after 5 days, I tested negative. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. But even to this day, like, my ears are clogged. Like, I am just exhausted all the time. It stinks.
Oh, dude,
I don't want anybody to have it.
I had the same thing. I had it, and I'm still, like, this far out, I'm still exhausted all the time. This is going to drive me nuts.
If you put your head really close to it, you might be able to hear the ocean.
Seashell. Here's my seashell.
Shiny bubbles. But yeah, anyway, so I dealt with that. And, of course, it's when I was coming back from Atlantic City, you're touching the screens, you're touching the thing, and you're eating a sandwich, and all of a sudden, you got the big casino.
I did go down to Maryland for a softball tournament with Mila, and I went to this little shit casino they have down there.
Who doesn't love a good casino?
And I thought about that. I was like, oh my God, fucking nobody wears masks in the casino.
No.
The air's constantly circulating. And I've taken 2 COVID tests since I got back from Maryland. Both came back negative, so I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Well, you don't think about it now because everything's like, everything's cool, and then, we're there and you're touching all the machines and then you're tapping the screen because you want to get good luck. And then they have all the sanitary stuff there. Like they have the Purell and all that stuff. But at the same time, you're just like, yeah, you're not washing your hands. And then you're going to get something to eat. And then, yeah. But, I got through that. And then anything else pretty much, well, the good thing about having the big casino was that I actually got to watch a lot of stuff. So who knows? We have lots of stuff to talk about, everybody. It's going to be fun.
Since it's been a while and everybody else has killed it to death, we're not talking anything San Diego Comic-Con because unless it's like comes up.
Yeah. You know what? I'm waiting for D23. D23 in September. I'm sure they're going to fill up that Phase 6. Phase 5 is looking good. We're not going to go through it too much. But, if anybody has a question about it or if anybody wants our opinions on certain things, have at it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, touch yourself, do all that good stuff. So, we're going to kind of move on a little,
my weeks, if I may.
Oh, please! I'm sorry, there, Senator. Please, by all means.
I was away in Syracuse, and I was away in Maryland, in Ocean City.
Yes, not the Ocean City, New Jersey.
No, not Ocean City, New Jersey. Ocean City, Maryland.
Yeah, the one everybody knows about, not the other one.
And then I what else did I do? Oh,
well, you did play. Yeah. Yes, birthday boy. Turned a big 5-0.
Half a century.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Exactly. It was my birthday. It was Patrick Stewart's birthday.
See,
Harrison
there you go.
Ford's birthday. We all have the same. And the Rubik's Cube guy.
Get off my plane.
And, it was a birthday.
Yeah, it's a milestone. Well, welcome to your 50s, pal.
I got my AARP card.
Yes, you got to do that.
I'm in the mail. I want the physical card.
Yeah. Mine is somewhere. Yeah. I'm looking. And I have taken your advice of going to AMC and doing the senior citizen discount.
Hell yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't, man.
Yeah. And, my kids, even though they're 14 and 16, they are now 12 and under. But anyway.
Oh, please. I do that. Well, having a son who works in the movie theater, he told me, he's like, we don't even fucking look.
Yeah.
We don't care.
You got to think about it. These kids are getting paid minimum wage just to rip tickets. They don't care. And if you do have somebody that cares, it's like good on them. You know what I'm saying? It's it's good for them. But we're gonna touch on a little bit of news that's kind of more current.
Boy, am I gonna touch on.
What are you gonna touch?
I'm gonna touch the shit out of this fucking microphone. It's driving me nuts. But I'm not gonna address it. I'm just gonna
pretend you're on a sailboat. It's all good. Look, everybody, a sailboat.
Well, that's also why in between talking, I just hit the button. I hit the button and turned myself off.
Hit the button. Hit the button.
So I'm sorry, people. I'm hoping for next time. It wasn't doing this the other day when I was testing it out.
Yeah.
Kat and I did like our own little impromptu podcast.
I'm dying to hear it.
I was calling it, what did I call it? Marriage Counseling with John and Kat. Because it's really weird. Like, her and I, having 4 kids, don't get a lot of time to, like, sit down and, like, talk.
It's true, yeah.
And we went downstairs and sat there, and she put the headphones on. And first thing she said was, like, oh, my God, who fucking uses these headphones? This thing is huge. Whose head is this big? And I was like, Greg. And we
it's
just
like
sat there for, the time flies. It was over an hour that we sat there.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, how long have we been doing this? Like, it's been over an hour. She's like, holy shit. I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
It's fun, kids. Try your own. See what happens. Make a thing.
And I was going somewhere with that.
Well, you were talking about the fact that, being parents to 4 kids, you really don't have any time to just sit down and talk to each other.
So when her and I sat, there was none of this, like, whoosh. It sounds like I'm driving with the car window open.
Yeah.
It's really annoying.
Turn on your Bluetooth.
Trust me, I'm ready to. It's like,
go on, eat it.
That's how I feel about the microphone. Eat it.
Eat it.
But yeah, do we want to get into some of the news that we've heard in the past week?
Yeah,
I know the song is my news, but I feel like you've got a lot of news too. Let me just play the jingle.
John, you got any news?
Yeah, we are gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Do you want to share a mic like, John and Paul?
No. No, I'm okay. First off, I do want to go out and publicly say, I'm not going to go into it, but rest in peace, Nichelle Nichols.
Nichelle Nichols.
Uhura. I always thought it was Michelle.
Okay.
But it's Nichelle. Nichelle. It's Michelle with an N instead.
Yeah, I never really, unfortunately, I was not big of a Trekkie. But, you know, hey, look. Her and William Shatner, first interracial kiss on television. And that was like in the 60s, I think it was. So, yeah, you know, it was a very, and she did a lot of really, whoa, hey, all that. So, got a lot of important things going on there. So
I know, this is fucking killing. Oh, wait. Oh, here's some settings.
Oh, wait, he's found something.
I dropped my fucking phone. Anyway.
Go ahead, I'll riff on this. So, anyway, yeah. Whoa, okay, so I'm trying not to be distracted. But listen, yeah, that was one of the big things. Like I said, I was a big Star Trek fan. Still am not. Although some of those newer shows, they do look really well. Really well. God, we are rusty. We are more rusty than a trombone.
I will say that the new Star Trek,
Brave New World or whatever it is.
Strange New World is really good.
Yeah, it looks good with the Silver Fox captain.
Yes.
And then you got the other one. What was that? Star Trek. Oh God, the other one that's there. It's got the chick from The Walking Dead on it. Who's the captain, the female. Yeah, I just, it's one of those things. I saw the movies. Of course, I've seen the originals. Never really got that deep into it. I'm more of a Star Wars guy.
I don't know
a Star Trek guy.
Is that any better? Can you even hear me at this point?
It's low, but
I feel like it's a little bit better. So, dude, can we just? I don't know how much time you want to spend on this, taking it back to and this is even a back in the day. This is like a throwback.
Oh.
Apparently, I saw this morning. Ezra Miller is apparently driving across the United States armed and wearing a bulletproof vest.
Awesome.
And there was also other reports about some shit that was going on with his cult-like behavior with the group that he was working with. I don't know. But that one fucking threw me for a tizzy. I was like, Ezra Miller is still at it? Like, what the fuck?
Did everybody check their Hey Pal, What's New Ezra Miller bingo card? Do we have bulletproof vests driving across country? Did you get that one?
I did. I got that.
See, I got scurvy and,
I have one big story that I'm saving for last.
Okay.
But in the meantime, coming from the world of, this is like a what the F story, and I wasn't going to include it, but it was just too bizarre not to have to address. I saw a couple of weeks back, and this is an old story, this story about a Brazilian anesthesiologist. I should tell you everything right there.
Yeah.
Who was arrested because he's an anesthesiologist, and while these women were giving birth via C-section, they got like the sheet up in front of the the C-section in their head, and he's back there monitoring their vitals and putting his pecker in their mouth. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Wait a second. Okay, rewind that a little bit. So the woman is getting a C-section.
Yes.
So her guts are splayed out. They're trying to get, and while this is happening,
and you've got the big sheet that's basically around chest level.
Yeah. So the woman, sometimes they have a. I'm not sure if
she doesn't see them cutting her belly open because you're awake during a C-section.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
And while she wasn't awake while they were doing it, and they knock you out while they cut you open and do all that stuff, and then wake you back up.
Okay.
He's putting his junk in her mouth, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
It's like that old Opie and Anthony bit where they talk about the perv switch.
Yeah.
Where it's just
this guy has no perv switch.
Yeah. Well, there was that dentist that would put the kids out and start feeling them up and stuff. It's like there's that perv switch where you're looking at it, you're seeing it, you're like, I could do this. I could slip this in. Nobody's gonna know.
People are crazy.
I don't get it, man. People have weird fetishes.
I just included that because I was like, that is just a bizarre. And I had to look up. And here's the kicker: not that you can find it, but there's video because they record these surgeries and they have video of him doing it.
And nobody said, well.
Oh, and that's how they got caught because someone reported like his.
I mean, the
weird
guy had to
behavior.
know, right?
I
He had to know that
guess.
they're filming it. Some people, when that perf switch goes on, man, when you get that
You're
that
just not
stuff
thinking.
churning in the top of your head, yeah, all things go out the window where you're just like, I don't care, you
Yeah,
know?
I don't know what's wrong with it. Other quick news. I'm sure you saw Andor.
I know they
Star Wars
moved it.
Andor. They pushed it off, and they're giving us 3 episodes, which I call that the Obi-Wan effect.
Yeah, well, I did hear about the reason why is because with Ms. Marvel and Obi-Wan, they debuted at the same time.
Right.
So it was a little bit too much. So I think with She-Hulk coming out, they went, let's give She-Hulk some breathing room, let people watch that, and then we'll do Andor. So
Okay.
it had to be either one or the other. I'm surprised they did. I guess Marvel, if you're playing in the entertainment poker tournament, I guess Marvel beats Star Wars at this point.
Yeah.
So
Which is sad.
yeah, but that Andor trailers, oh my God. I mean, Rogue One is one of my, I would say, top 3 Star Wars films. You know?
And here's another kicker on that Andor, pulling off of that. Season 2 begins filming before the end of this year.
Oh yeah, they're all in. They're all in. Apparently, the first season is going to take place in the span of a year,
Right.
and then in season 2, every 3 episodes is going to be like 3 years,
Okay.
or a year, because it's supposed to be 5 years before the events in Rogue One. So
Okay.
they're doing first season is 1 year. There's like 9 episodes, I think, in season 2, so that's 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
and then they're talking season 3. I don't know, but if it's
Apparently
anything
they're not
like
using that same video technology that they used for The Mandalorian.
no, they're doing more on location stuff,
Right.
which is, you know, it's funny when the volume first came out, everybody's just like, oh my God, the volume is great. You know, you do all this stuff. And I get it if you're like, it's way better to act in front of a big screen like that with the character than some guy with a golf ball on his head dressed in all green. Like, okay, that's a Wookiee. And you're like, okay, whatever.
The golf ball guy.
Yeah. So, you know, I get it for that aspect, but if you're doing, I mean, that Andor trailer, the scope, I mean, they went to all these different places and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. Who would have thought out of all the shows where it's like, you know, you got Mandalorian, which is the gold standard for everything, right? With no,
Sure.
and I think the reason for that is that Mandalorian, we went in it blind. We had no idea what it was.
Didn't know what to expect.
Boba Fett, you have a certain amount of expectation. Obi-Wan, you have a certain amount of expectation. They're legacy characters. Andor, you're kind of like when Rogue One came out. You're like, I don't know these people. So you're going in fresh. That's my chair.
No, I thought I heard a car and I was like, oh my God. I thought I heard a car and I was like, oh my God, is the garage going to open in a second? Your mom going to be like, oh, hi, boys.
Oh yeah, probably right. That might happen. So stay tuned, everybody. Yeah. So it's I'm really excited for that. But I did hear the reason why is because of the whole overlapping. Because I'll be honest,
I'll
like
take that.
when Obi-Wan came out, obviously for me in my entertainment poker, Star Wars always beats Marvel to me. That's just me. I watched Obi-Wan first and Ms. Marvel, which, by the way, we didn't really get a chance to talk Ms. Marvel. I loved Ms. Marvel.
And apparently there's a big scene, like a big, the red, whatever. There was a big fight thing that got cut out.
Yeah. What were they? The Red Scarf?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Red Scars or something like that. They, I mean, it was different. At first I was like, with Ms. Marvel, I was like, is this going to be for me? This seems more of like a Disney Nickelodeon kind of kids superhero thing. Like, am I going to feel like a pedo freaking watching this? But, I went in anyway, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was one of the better shows for the Marvel shows.
I don't know how much I'm going to rewatch it.
No, but, like we had said in the beginning, it's nice to see a different location. It wasn't so much, the family dynamic in it, the mother and the father and Kamala. It was great. It was more of a family. It was more like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man kind of stuff. It was like, home. It was in Jersey City. It was with Pakistani people. It was different. It wasn't the same old, not to sound like a woke gentleman, but it's not white and like that. It's just it was different, and I enjoyed it. But where I'm getting with all this is that as Obi-Wan was going, as Obi-Wan was going on, I wasn't watching Ms. Marvel the same way. I watched maybe one episode, and I was like, I'll get back to it,
Right.
because I was too busy sucking Obi-Wan's dick, which it was good. It was really good.
Now I did watch. You were right. I watched that video of the guy who cut it together and re-edited some,
made it like a 4-hour movie. Yeah,
it was actually good, and it was free, so it's not like I gotta pay for anything. I actually enjoyed watching it more as that, like, I think it was like a 3-hour movie.
Yeah. He cut out a lot of the fluff and kind of made it a little bit more coherent, which was good. But yeah, it's I can see now why they did it. The greedy person in me is like, give it all to me now.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm like, the She-Hulk show looks really good.
And we'll get to it. I'm watching the Sandman, and that was one of those Netflix we dropped all the episodes at once.
Yeah, I want to watch that. How is it so far?
It's good.
Good.
I will get to that. And big news. I saved the big news for last, and I'm sure. So I've got a whole paragraph here. So apparently, Batgirl no more. And some of the reasoning behind this is Discovery, which I guess finally Discovery is part of that HBO Max family.
Yeah, it's a merger that they're doing. It's the Warner Brothers Discovery.
Discovery is claiming that the film did not meet the studio's quality standards, and I'm like, I feel like half the DC movies that we're getting aren't fucking quality standard. And Batgirl test audiences have reportedly described the film as just a bad TV episode.
Yeah, it didn't look good for me. I mean, what's going on right now, and what I've heard from different shows about the Warner Brothers Discovery thing is right now they have two apps. Like HBO Max has their app, Discovery Plus has their own app. They're going to start merging that together.
Sure.
There is new management over at Warner Brothers. There's that guy's David Zaslav, right?
Yeah, and apparently one of the execs with all this, it drove him almost to quit. That they were going to that they're canceling this.
Really?
He was that
yeah.
And the other big problem is there's a lot of fans on social media that are upset and worried because we're seeing a huge comeback for Brendan Fraser, and he was the main villain in this. He was Firefly, and it was like, and now no, and Michael Keaton in the bat suit, and Commissioner Gordon, J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon was back, and it's like all of that. And the big one is Brendan Fraser's comeback.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are taking to social media because they're worried that this is going to... And, of course, they're trying to fucking, shh, don't worry about this. Here's a Joker 2 announcement. You're telling me that the Joker 2 movie is coming out in 2024?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You're giving me a movie I didn't want.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Brendan Fraser is concerned, I don't know if you saw that trailer for that independent movie, Whale.
No.
He's going to be fine. He's going to get an Oscar for that movie. He plays...
Because he's so good in Doom Patrol, too. And he's a freaking... It's not even him. It's a robot.
Yeah. Well, there is a trailer that came out. I don't think they put out a trailer yet. It was just some images. It's an A24 jam that's coming out. It's called Whale.
Dude, A24 is putting out some really good shit.
Yeah, we got to talk a lot about A24 because they released the trailer for Pearl, which is the prequel to X.
Okay,
which
I haven't
is
seen it.
Phenomenal. But Brendan Fraser is in this movie called Whale. He is a 600-pound guy who is trying to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter.
Wow.
And you see the images of Brendan Fraser. It's haunting.
Please tell me he didn't pull off, what's his name?
That's what I said. I was like, please let it be prosthetics. Please, I don't want him to be that fat.
Because I will tell you, in Doom Patrol, he's pretty heavy. But all of a sudden, as the seasons have gone, I see him getting thinner and thinner and getting into shape. And I get he's got really bad back problems. And he was one of those guys who Hollywood execs kind of
passed him around.
Wanted to sexually pass him around.
Yeah.
When he wouldn't, they fucking blacklisted him.
Yep.
Ruined his career because he wouldn't fuck Harvey Weinstein or whoever wanted to fuck him.
Yeah.
Pardon my language. Who he wanted to, Me Too with him.
Yep.
And he wouldn't, and they they tanked his career because of it.
Yeah, but there is a Brendan Fraser renaissance coming in, and I think once the trailer drops for that movie Whale, it looks fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know if all this Batgirl stuff is just. I'm a little suspect that it's some Snyder effect.
Well, from what like I said, from what I've heard from different sources and different shows that I watch, with this new management, David Zaslav over at Warner Brothers, the whole DC, everything was just a mess, right? The whole Snyderverse, all that stuff. He's coming in, he's basically taking over this sinking ship, and he's been swiping things. Gotham Knights, fuck you, you're gone. You guys are gonna make a Wonder Twins movie? No. He's getting rid of all that stuff. So
they canceled the Flash.
Yeah,
They're like, we're not. Flash is done.
We're
gonna give you a 9-episode season, and you're done.
Well, to be honest, that show should end.
I stopped watching it 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, exactly. So he's kind of clearing house, and he did say in the recent shareholders meeting that they did for Warner Brothers Discovery. First of all, moving those apps together is going to save them $3 billion. So it makes and HBO Max, and remember when HBO Max first came out, there was HBO Now, then there was HBO Go, then there was regular HBO, then there was HBO Max. Apparently, when he took over this company, there's like a VP of promotions in all 4 of those apps. And, he's like, we got rid of all the overhead. We're getting rid of all these dumb ideas from the previous management. And he said they have a plan for DC that's going to make it a #1 priority for 10 years. They have a 10-year plan for DC. So, sure, it sucks that we didn't get Batgirl. You know me. I'm a huge fan of the suit, Brendan Fraser and Michael Keaton Batman and all that stuff. And, I still think, as silly as it is with Ezra Miller, I think you released that movie, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to boycott it.
No.
We all want to see it.
No.
Apparently, but the reason that Flash is still up because they're like, it's really that good. And apparently with Batgirl, it was really that bad.
Yeah, which is sad.
Why, they're looking at it and going they spent $70 million on it. They're just going to do it as a tax write-off and just say, forget it, and scrap the whole thing. Yeah, there's a lot of people in that movie that put their blood, sweat, and tears into that, right?
Right.
A lot of people, but they all got paid. It gets shelved. No, I would rather they shelve that movie and concentrate on good stuff than put out crap material.
And Warner Brothers Discovery, in related news, they are saying that they're going to dramatically increase HBO Max budget and series counts.
Yeah.
They're going to focus on series, which I think is where Netflix is starting to fuck up, is they're putting out these movies that are I don't know, B+ films.
Yeah, and they're spending a ton of money, where Netflix right now, their sweet spot is documentaries right now.
Yes.
I just recently watched...
There's a documentary I was going to talk about that I want to watch on Netflix.
Okay, we'll see if it's the same one.
Yeah. Really quick, because I just went to go find out the information, because I know there was some talk about HBO, like you were saying, they're canceling this, cancel. And they went through and did sweeping firings of people. Not firings, laying people off.
Yeah.
But in scrolling, I just saw 2 bits of news. One was that Ezra Miller's erratic behavior on the Stand set upset and scared the other actors. But in even more shocking news, and I think this is related because my daughter was talking about this book that's coming out, I think, later in the month, Jeanette McCurdy's book.
Yes, I'm a huge fan.
And first article on CBR, when I went to go look that up, iCarly star says she was told to drink alcohol and wear a bikini by the creator of iCarly.
Which was the Dan Schneider.
Yeah, the guy who you're like, oh, he's a naughty boy.
Oh, Dan Schneider was. He loved the girls' feet.
So there was that bit of news that I just saw as I pulled this up. I couldn't let it go because it's the very first story on CBR's news, TV news.
Gotta love CBR.
I do. There's a couple places I go for my news. That's one of the main places, but and HBO Max says their 45-day theatrical to streaming window is no longer Warner Brothers policy. So
wow, yeah. Well, they kind of screwed the pooch a little bit with the day-to-date release, where, but nobody knew, right?
But that was a COVID thing. I think they were doing that for COVID, and they committed to it. Their big mistake was going, all these movies we're talking about coming out with this year, they're going to come out same date, but on HBO. And then it was like, oh, theaters are open up. Don't worry, you're still going to get it on streaming. We're just going to do streaming and theatrical release at the same time. It's like, that's going to fucking hurt your theater sales. Now they're going, we need to back off on that.
Look, we all used to goof on Tom Cruise. The guy had it right. They wanted to put that out on streaming. That movie was filmed and done 2-3 years ago. And
he was like, nope.
He's like, nope, got to be in theaters. Got to be in theaters. And it finally came out, and it made billions, or $1 billion or what have you. I mean, who would have thought? So good on you, Tom Cruise. We all goof on you, but yeah.
That's all the news that I could find. I don't know if you have any news that I might have missed.
No. I think we pretty much covered it. Like I said,
Cool.
We don't have to, we could do that.
John, you got any news?
Okay, I gotta ask, what is the documentary that you watched?
I watched the train wreck, Woodstock '99.
That's exactly the one I want to fucking watch. And I know you can't see the chat because your screen over there shut off.
Yeah.
I would love to, and I don't think I'll be able to get them on the air. I could text them. Justin.
Yes.
Justin was there.
So was my girl Manal.
And Justin was part of the mob fucking, apparently, if I'm remembering correct, part of the mob like knocking down the fucking barrier wall.
Really? Yeah, it was I highly recommend you watch it. It's, the typical Netflix documentary where it's like 3 parts. You're like, really? But each one is a day.
I feel like I watched a documentary about it and we talked about it on a past episode.
There was one on HBO Max that they did.
Yes.
Is this not
better?
Way better.
Oh, good.
Way better.
I can't watch it then.
It was fascinating because it was funny. As I was watching it, my girl called me on her way home from work, and I was like, I'm watching this crazy documentary about Woodstock '99. She was like, oh, yeah, I went.
Yeah, I remember when we talked about it, she posted in the chat. She's like, I was there.
Yeah, she was 13 years old when she went. But she said, I said, well, God, I said, I don't, are you okay? But she was like, she said that they stayed till about like midday Saturday, and they were like, this is ridiculous. We got to leave. Yeah. It is. Now, I always knew, you always heard it. I remember watching it live on my couch, drinking a beer, watching it. And you're like, oh, my God,
that
the
was
fires.
1999?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was a little too old at that point to be going to a fucking 3-day festival.
Yeah, I was 28 years old. I wasn't doing it. There you go. So
it was gone. The sound was gone, and then it came back.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll go away again. Yeah, the documentary,
Just
if
like
you
the
get
rash.
a chance to see it.
Just like my rash.
They have a topical cream for that.
There's plenty of topical ointment for everyone.
Plenty of topical cream for everybody.
So tell me more about this documentary.
So it starts off, like, it really went in depth about the whole process of, like, how they were going to start. Because everybody forgets, like, they had Woodstock 94.
Yeah.
And that was okay.
Well, they thought they were going to do this every 5-year thing.
Yeah.
And
well, 99 was the 30th anniversary, so they decided to go big. They wanted to go bigger, and they got this Air Force base that was abandoned Air Force base.
In upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
Griffiths Air Force Base. I've been there.
Yeah.
I did cybersecurity training up there because with Syracuse University, the Air Force is the big cybersecurity thing. I went up there and I was like, this is crazy. I know they've done like at that airport, that base is so big that they started renting out the runway so people could do like, they do it in Dutchess County at the Dutchess County Airport.
Okay.
Where like they shut down the airport for one day and people come with their cars and like will race on the runway.
Oh, cool.
So it's like I can get on the runway and do 120 miles an hour because there's enough room for me to get up to 120 and then safely stop without killing myself.
Nice. Yeah, so this whole thing, they were like, we're going to do it big. We're getting all the biggest artists, these guys that ran it. The original guy from Woodstock, I forget his name right off the top of my head because I'm bad with names.
I have the book.
But him and this other executive, they're like, we're going to get all the biggest artists, and we're gonna do it smart this time. Because even they reflected in the 94 one. It went off without a hitch. But the barriers did break down. A lot of people went in for free. They said this
that
time.
happened at the original Woodstock.
Exactly, right?
What are you expecting?
So they have it all barricaded up, and they're like, we're going to do this right. We're going to blah, blah, blah. And you know, it's one of those things. Like I don't know if you ever saw the documentary about the Fire Festival.
Which one?
The HBO one. I don't know. Yeah,
There's
same
one
thing.
on Hulu, Netflix,
Yeah.
HBO, fucking
Same
everybody.
kind of deal where these guys were way in over their heads, and they, you know, these kids, they you know, they come in, and here's a couple. I'll give you the bullet points of why people were like, oh my god, like that, why things happen. Right. First of all, it's in this Air Force base. It's 90 degrees. There's no shade. They're on a freaking asphalt for most of it. So these kids come in. When they go walking in, anything that they brought, water, food, anything, gone. Toss it. You can't have it. They go into the venue. There's limited water. There's limited bathrooms. The porta potties were overflowing at one point, and it was just mixing in with the regular water. And you know, a lot of the people that were there was a lot of nudity. There was people that were spray painting, and I remember this because at the time when this came out, I was managing a drugstore, and people used to come into the 1 hour photo, like, you can develop my pictures. It was all topless pictures from Woodstock. And of course, when you're putting stuff through the 1 hour photo and you see a picture that you're like, oh my god, you go, copy. So beware, kids. Well, we don't worry about it now. To make a long story longer, the way that they ran this thing was abysmal. First of all, they had all these bands that were super popular at the time, but they're going, yeah, man, it's gonna be great. Everybody's gonna be peace, love, and music and stuff. You get Korn, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, you know, and everybody that went to that show, Metallica, it was like a bunch of dude bros, grabbing asses and just being vile and nasty. And then as it went on, you know, I don't want to ruin the documentary, but by the end, you're like, it's like watching a Vietnam documentary. Like these people were just like drinking the water, and one of the safety guys tested the water, it was all full of bacteria, and these people were drinking it, and there's rapes, and they're charging $7 for a bottle of water. Then as they started running out, they started gouging it, doing $14 for a bottle of water, and all the kids there. It doesn't excuse the actions that they did, but at the same time, they were 3 days in the heat, drunk, high, sunburnt, dehydrated.
Someone died too, right?
They didn't say anything about deaths. They did say a lot of rapes.
I did see the one story in that HBO one about the guy who found like this girl and was like, she was just wandering naked, and he grabbed his jacket and threw it over her and was like, took her and brought her, and she'd been like gang raped.
Yeah, they did bring up one thing where there was that after the show, after all the bands, then they would have an all-night rave in these rave tents. Yeah. And the rave tent, somebody stole a van and drove it through the rave thing, you know, slow, and people were jumping on it. But the security guy was like, we got to get this van out of here, and goes into the van, and there's just a woman in there just completely passed out naked, and all the guys in there, they were all just banging her, you know? So it's like, it was really scary. And when you get to the end of it, there's a lot of good footage in it. I highly recommend you watch it.
Okay, so according to what I just looked up, how true this is, 2 young men died from drug overdoses.
Okay.
And a third, who was 17, was run over and killed by a tractor that was collecting debris while he slept in his sleeping bag.
Ugh, yeah, it was so mismanaged.
I mean, I remember us going to like Lollapalooza, and you're dealing with that. It's like, it's fucking hot. You're up front, and they would break out the hoses and start spraying everybody. But even then, the bouncer guys behind the barricade would be like handing people bottles of water.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Lollapaloozas, when we went to Randall's Island, they were well organized. You know, we could walk around. We weren't stuck. Yeah, sure, if you want to go in the pit, great. Good luck.
It wasn't $10 for a bottle of water.
No, the stuff was, and you could, you know, and that's the thing, is that these people brought in tents where they had like Tent City, where everybody was. And it was just like they wouldn't let them bring anything in. Now, granted, you don't want to go in with a cooler of, you know, all this stuff. But, like, if you're camping for 3 days, you kind of need stuff. Yeah. And you don't want to pay $10 for a fucking burrito, you know? Like,
I'm going to check that one out, because I was eyeballing it well, actually today, when I started watching Sandman on Netflix.
Ooh, I think this is going to be a Netflix heavy episode because I did see another documentary on that I'll talk about.
I'm digging the Sandman. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I think they're doing a good job. I don't understand. I know there was people who were all up in arms about the fact that like Lucifer was being played by a woman. I'm like, why the fuck does it matter?
Now, did you read the comics, the Sandman comics?
I did not.
I did not either. I know.
Maybe that's why I don't care.
They say it's very, very true to the comics.
Yes.
You know, I remember past goth girl relationships where they all love the Sandman and Lady Death and all that stuff. I'm interested to watch it.
Well, you got Jenna Coleman, who was on Doctor Who, playing Joanna Constantine instead of John Constantine.
Okay.
You know, I think Joanna Constantine is a descendant of John Constantine. I don't know if you're familiar with John Constantine. You probably saw the Keanu Reeves Constantine.
Oh, no,
movie.
I'm familiar. It's the same one, the same Constantine?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a great character.
I'm really digging it. Give it a shot. Another one that I watched. This is one of those ones, and I always have a problem with this when you get to the end and you're like, wait, that's how it fucking ends? Was that series, The Paper Girls.
I didn't see that one.
About these girls who, like, travel through time, like, accidentally get traveled through time. Some shit. It was good. It's very tweeny.
Mm-hmm.
But when they got to the end, I was just like, wait, that's the fucking ending? You didn't even wrap anything up. Like, you left me with a giant cliffhanger. Like, if you want to know what happens, renew us. And not when he's like, we wrapped everything up, and then we give you, like, a tag at the end that's like, is that the end? Let's set it up for another season. Let's wrap this up nicely and set up for another season. They didn't even do that. It was just like, oh, my God, they're back here, and this is happening. And I was like, some bullshit. The other one's got me totally fascinated on the old HBO Max, if you got it.
Yeah, I do.
Is The Anarchists. It is a documentary series. And from what I could tell, this guy was doing a documentary movie about this, and things just started to unravel while he's doing this documentary, and the story became so much deeper. And I guess HBO probably got a wind of it and was like, no, let's do this as a documentary series. It's these guys who ran this conference called Anarchapulco. I know, it's so funny. But it's these people who moved to Acapulco, Mexico, because, like, we're tired of all the bullshit in the United States being told, I can't do this, I have to do that, I have to register for this, I have to get a license for that. I just want the freedom to just do whatever I want. As long as nobody's getting hurt, why can't I just do whatever I want? So they moved to Mexico, and that's what anarchy is. I always tell people, like, anarchy as it is versus anarchy as everybody perceives it is like communism as it's pure supposed to be versus how it really works out in real world.
Sure.
So these people want to be like these anarchists where it's like, we just want people to be free to do what they want. And this guy creates this thing and people start going down. And then this couple gets arrested for pot charges, like a lot of pot. They get out on bail and fucking skip town and go down to Anarchapulco.
Nice.
And move down there. And then shit just goes haywire.
Oh.
Because this guy was doing this conference of like, here's how you live a free life. Here's how you make money. Here's how you support yourself. Here's how you support a community of people who help each other, but also have that freedom to do whatever they want.
Okay.
You know, you want to have 4 kids? You have 4 kids. You don't want to have any kids? You don't have any kids. You don't want to have to get a birth certificate or a license or any of that shit to do anything. And this other group comes down there and starts, like, they have one of the Anarchapulcos. It starts to grow, and they're selling drugs out of a hotel room. And then the fucking Mexican drug cartel catches wind of this.
Yeah.
And needless to say, people wind up dead.
A lot of beheadings.
I'm not going to get real deep into it. At first, I was like, all right, what is this? What is this? And I was like, okay, I'm a little fascinated by the seeing where this goes. And they're, I think, 4 episodes in, and I'm all in on it.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. Yeah, I've been really getting into documentaries. Like the other one I saw on Netflix was what is it? The Most Hated Man on the Internet. Yeah,
the revenge porn guy.
Oh my god,
Kate was watching that.
That was creepy. I mean, that guy was a fucking scumbag. You know, at first you're kind of like, okay, he runs this site and people are because it centers around this one teenage girl that she takes pictures of herself nude, and then she's like, well, I'm gonna just send it to my email, and then all of a sudden she shows up.
Her email gets hacked.
Oh yeah, and it's on the site is anyoneUp.com, and it's from I can't remember.
Up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know the site.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I know there's a lot of revenge porn sites out there, and I know there's a big to-do about them.
It's not up anymore, but it was, people just posting. And originally you're like, his whole stance was like, well, look, man, if somebody wants to go onto the site and upload pictures of their ex-girlfriend, like, that's on them. That, you should be careful. You shouldn't send that stuff out. But then you find out that a lot of these people...
Doing victim blaming?
Yeah.
I hate when people do that. It's like...
Well, it's not even that, and then they start. You start finding out that this girl was like, at first she's like, she said she was like, I just sent it to myself, like I didn't send it to a boyfriend or something like that, like, and it got onto the site anyway. And the fucked up thing is that not only would they post the pictures, but they would post their Facebook profiles, their regular social media. Oh yeah, and it was wild. I won't get too much into it, but yeah, I've been sitting on the couch with the good old with the big casino watching all these documentaries.
I wanted to watch that, but you know what my problem was? Is I was like, I just find that shit a little too disturbing, and I don't know that I could sit through it. I could watch fucking I Survived,
yeah,
and those kind of things like left and right. But shit like that, I'm like, oh, that's a little too like.
Yeah, where it's something where it's some of these people like, and I'll admit when I first started watching it, I'm like, look, dude, if you're gonna take naked pictures of yourself and send it to your boyfriend, like, the internet is forever. It's gonna pop up and haunt you one day.
Yeah,
Don't do it. But then at the same time, 40% of these women that were on this site did not send it to anybody. Now.
Right. But and my problem, it's not a problem. It's just it's easy to say that in retrospect, but like at the time, the internet was young and everybody didn't think about the fact that like this is going to be out there for everybody. We just thought it was like it's a cool way to share things and we could view things and do stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and then the fact that like when these girls were horrified and found out that all their Twitter, it was their Facebook profile. So not only are they just pictures on a website, which is like okay, great. If you're not like a porn hound, these people will never see it. They put their Facebook stuff on there. So now they're all getting, Facebook messages and like, nice tits, fuck you. And the whole thing is on the bottom was all the comments of just people like just shaming them. Like, you're a piece of garbage kind of stuff. So the girl goes and says, they have a thing like, you can email the guy's name. I think it was like Trevor or something like that.
Yeah.
And they would email him and he would just be like, fuck you. I'm not taking it off. And then finally it was crazy. Like it goes down the rabbit hole of if it's just this one mother of this one girl was adamant. She's like, I am going to send this guy to jail. And it was like, if you've ever seen the documentary Don't Fuck with Cats.
No.
Oh, that's a really good one too. See, you got to go down the Netflix rabbit hole, man, with these documentaries.
Don't Fuck with Cats?
Yes. There was this one. There's another quick review of this one. Don't Fuck with Cats was a documentary where all of a sudden this video was going around of this guy who was killing cats on YouTube and like showing it all these different horrible ways he was killing these animals. And they got out and they were around, and then this group of people were like, we're gonna find this guy. We're going to find him, we're going to hunt him down, and we're going to get him arrested because you don't fuck with cats, right? Which, being an animal lover myself.
I get that title now.
Yeah, so they go into it, but then it ends up like, and they're obsessed. Like all these people on this Facebook group are obsessed of finding this guy, and they're getting clues from all this different, like where is he from? Like he's hiding, and he's in this. Turns out, he wasn't just killing cats. He was killing
people,
young boys too. It's like, yeah. So it's another one where it was very similar to that, where it was like this little group of people, because this one mother was like, I'm gonna shut this guy, because the guy who ran the site it was apparently I don't know, I must have missed it. It was a huge site, and he had all these followers, and he would throw all these big parties, and it was just crazy, man. This guy was like, he was making like $30,000 a month in ad revenue, and a small group of people were like, not FBI or anything like that. They're like, we're gonna shut this motherfucker down because they put a picture of my daughter naked on there. We're gonna shut him down, and spoiler alert, they freaking took him down.
Good.
His sentence wasn't great, but
well, I think part of that too is like they don't know what to do with these people on the internet, because like someone who kills a cat, like you may get like a slap on the wrist fine, or like an animal cruelty charge, no jail time. But then when you bring the internet into it, and a lot of people start seeing it and get outraged, then they're also outraged at the fact that there's not a more strict punishment for this.
Yeah, and the don't F with cats was more of like, it started unraveling this onion of like, okay, first he was doing that, then what else was he doing? What other crazy stuff was he into? And it turns out it wasn't just cats.
I've watched enough serial killer stuff to know if you're fucking with animals, you're fucking with.
That's always the telltale sign when you're killing animals. They always say like that's the way to go. But yeah, those are the ones I've seen.
There was
recently.
One other show that's new that I just started watching. It's got that girl who's the mother from How I Met Your Mother. She's like in the last season.
Oh yeah.
She was in that. She's in that show I talked about in the past with the girl who's like was the Steve Jobs Facebook kind of guy who kept her in this like bubble and like was tracking her, and anyway, it's a series called The Resort.
I keep hearing advertisements for
it's
that
on
show.
Peacock. Is that your mom out there at the garage?
She is. Yes, Mom. Hi, we're on the air.
It was on Peacock. It's on Peacock. I'm really digging it.
Okay.
I can go to the front door.
It doesn't matter at this point.
I can take the back entrance to my own house.
Poor Mimi.
Yeah, poor Mimi. But I'm really liking it. You, if you get a chance, I mean, I'm sure you don't have Peacock. Check it out. I will tell you.
I do have the Peacock, cock.
As an update, that show Moonhaven I was talking about.
Yes.
It's really grown on me.
Has it really?
Yeah.
That's another one I keep seeing the ads for AMC Plus, because I have AMC Plus and I go on to. I've been watching Better Call Saul, which people, I'm like, why isn't anybody talking about this show? This show's amazing. But it's winding down.
Moonhaven started off really slow. I think that's why I was turned off to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotten a lot better.
Oh, good. We're gonna have to check that one out. I mean, yeah, the only other things I've been watching were all that stuff we talked about on Netflix, and I did catch up with a movie that maybe we'll do like a late to the party episode on, because it has been out in a few years. But the prequel for the movie is coming out on, I think it's Paramount Plus or something like that, in a few weeks. Orphan First Kill. So, and I was like, I don't think I've ever seen the original Orphan, and I watched it. Holy crap. It was really good.
I'm going to have to go watch that.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it, because if you know the spoiler at the end, you're kind of bummed. I went into it, I knew what the spoiler was, only because the movie's been out for a bunch of years.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, man, before this First Kill, Orphan First Kill prequel, let me go watch the original Orphan. And I was, even though I knew the twist, I was like, what? It was very creepy.
So is that the only actual movie you've watched?
Yeah, really. I haven't seen it. I haven't been going to the movies at all, any of the theater ones.
I did see a movie yesterday.
Oh, yeah? What movie was that?
I saw The Bullet Train.
You saw The Bullet Train. All right, so let's break this down here.
Ready?
Because
Bullet Train.
Oh, yeah?
Dude, the cast in this movie is like, and they did have a really good fucking misdirect in the movie. I don't know how much I want to,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to go see it.
Okay, well, the spoiler, there's one scene that's got Chris Evans in it.
Good
and
old
I'm thinking,
Chris
I'm
Evans.
like, watch, I'm going, it's got to be him. He's got to be the one. It's got to be him. And it was just, he had this one scene where he did this one thing, and that was it.
Wow.
And I was like, wait, he's not one of the assassins? Because there's like all these assassins on the train. And you're like, why are all these people on the train? And I'm not going to spoil the actual movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you right now. You can't see the screen, but on our new rating system, I'm giving it 3 pals.
3 pals. 3 pals. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Not a 4 pal, because it did have its faults, but it was very entertaining. A lot of action, a lot of fighting, a lot of really cool, like, you know, that special effects camera things flying. And some of those were really bad that I was like, that's why I was like, okay, I'm giving it 3 pals.
Yeah.
Because there was some special effects shit that it was like,
I did
rolled
hear
my eyes at.
Yeah, I heard it was very much like a Guy Ritchie kind of Jackie Chan kind of action craziness, which if you're into that stuff, man, good on you, man. It's good. I mean, I love Snatch. I love freaking
good fast action fighting kind of action scenes. A decent like plot story thing. A lot. I mean, you got Brad Pitt. You've got. I mean, I don't even know who else in the fucking cast. It's like.
I think the actor from Shang-Chi was in it.
Yeah. They're all in it. It was just a really super entertaining, great movie.
It sounds like a blast. I mean, there are a lot of movies out there that I think we need to start going on dates together and going to see, because like I haven't seen Nope. I haven't.
Manny saw it.
Yeah.
Manny went to he saw Nope, and then he saw I Know Why the Crawdads Sing.
I heard that was good.
He said so. Bullet Train has Brad Pitt, Joey King. She's like the one girl. You've got Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay.
He plays one of the killers, the assassins. You got Brian Tyree Henry. He's in. What the fuck is that thing that he's in? No, he's in Atlanta. He's in Atlanta. He's in the Eternals. He plays the. I hate having to do this.
He plays one of the Eternals.
Well, he's the black guy.
Okay.
I hate having to describe it like that, but I feel like if he had a very distinguishing mustache, I was like the guy with the free, like, we all know when I talk about the guy with the deep voice with the fucking mustache. And
Sam Elliott.
You know I'm talking Sam Elliott.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's the black guy Eternal, the one who was gay.
Yes.
So I mean, he's in it. He was so good. The guy Andrew Koji, who's from that show. The Chinatown show that's based on the stories of Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay.
It was the Cinemax series. I can't remember the name of the show. He's in it. You're thinking Hiroki Sanada? Yeah. If I show you his...
You just took the air right out of the room.
I fucking did.
You're like...
This guy.
Yeah. You're like, Jimmy.
I think he's the guy that's in Shang-Chi.
Joey Chu. Jimmy Chu. Joey Chu. I know you're talking about. Tommy Chong. Tommy fucking Chong.
You know, he's the guy who was in Mortal Kombat movie.
Yes. Which was actually surprisingly good.
Michael Shannon.
Okay.
Sandra Bullock's got a small sort of part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And Alf.
Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz, okay.
So we all know her.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a lot of other people.
Yeah, I heard that it was a chock-full cast.
The guy who plays Hero on Heroes.
Oh, yeah. Hero on Heroes. Yeah, but I haven't seen anything in the theater, which kind of sucks.
It was really good.
I want to see Bullet Train. I mean, Bullet Train sounds fun. I want to see Nope. I want to see what's some of the other ones that have been out.
You know what I want to see that just came out and is getting really good movement?
What's that?
And I love Dan Trachtenberg. I have loved Dan Trachtenberg since he did a fucking podcast like way back.
Yeah.
And he did 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yes.
And his new movie that's getting a lot of good press is Prey.
Yes.
300 years before fucking Predator.
Yeah, that's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just saw a lot of things about today. I was like, I think I need to sit and watch this. It's a lot of good.
It's been getting good reviews. People are putting it right under the first Predator. It's like, all right, that's the best one.
And I never put it together. Did you read all the little things about the first Predator with the guy, Jim Hopper?
No.
apparently, like when they find the bodies hanging from the tree, they talk about Jim Hopper, who was really good at evading tough situations.
Oh,
Arnold Schwarzenegger picks up the dog tail. He goes, Jim Hopper, and Jim Hopper,
Stranger Things, yeah.
And they're saying that that's Jim Hopper, Stranger
Jim
Things.
Hopper.
I'm like, I'd hate to see that that's his fucking fate, that he winds up skinned and hanging from a tree in the movie Predator.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
I hope not.
That's not gonna be
I wouldn't put it past
David Harbour is a national treasure. We leave him alone.
And I wouldn't put it past the Stranger Things people to have used that name on purpose as like an homage to the Predator.
They probably, they probably
'Cause I feel like they
swiped
do a lot
that
of
and was
that.
just like, nobody will notice. But the internet, everybody finds stuff out.
So that's my TV and movies that I got.
Yeah, we think we pretty much went through that. I mean, we can break it down into a little bit of a music stuff there. There's a few items that came out.
Time for Greg's Music News. Tidbits.
You might notice there's a little bit of a difference going on, which we might address by the end of it. But so pulling up my Discover, there were two bands that did put out albums that are noteworthy. I act like it's our pals.
They are. They're our buddies.
Amon Amarth.
Amon Amarth again?
They put out their They put out their full album.
Are they on tour?
Yeah,
we might have to go see them after all this.
Yes. The Great Heathen Army is out, and it's Viking rock. So much so that I went on to Amazon and I'm looking to purchase a goat horn mug to put my iced coffee in. It's just, if you like any of that stuff from Berserker, we always goof about get your back to the ore. Which surprisingly that song is not on it. That was just a one-off single. But the rest of the album is, Viking metal to the nines. And just to make this real fast, because we have been on for a while, but the other band that I saw, hey, everybody, I thought they were dead. Hit it.
Oh, I can't.
Where is it? I don't know.
Don't fucking know where it is.
But anyway, hey, kids.
Can I help you, sir? Yes, what is this? Huh? This is whack. I can't get jiggy with this shit.
I thought you were dead.
Do we all remember the band Toxic?
I do.
They just put out a new album on Friday.
Today. I literally thought they was dead.
Die Morta. Now, our friend Mr. Donnelly is not in the band anymore.
Oh, he's not.
Josh Christian, the main guitar player guy, is it, and I don't even know who else is in it. But I listened to it today. It's thrash. I mean, that guy, Josh Christian, he can play the bejesus out of the guitar. We only know them because we know somebody who used to be in the band, and they're like a local band from around here, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were a Hudson Valley band that ended up going on tour with King Diamond, and I'm
trying to remember the band that guy, Anthony,
That was Azir.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
with Rob Jackson and all those guys. No, this is Toxic. Josh Christian, John Donnelly, the one that was from Illusion from our back in our day.
Married to Denise Gale.
Yes, Denise Gale. Unfortunately, he's not in the band anymore. It's just Josh and these other guys. But I swear to God, I started seeing notifications like we got an album coming out, and I was like, wait, you guys are putting out a record? They're signed to Massacre Records. They put out this album. It's really well done. It's not necessarily my kind of stuff just because it's a little too guitar noodly.
Okay.
But hey, man, Toxic is back. And I looked just because I wanted to see if John joined the band, and he's not. But Josh is still in there, like I keep saying. And those are the two real albums that I saw on my Discover that are popping. Yeah, everything else was just kind of We Are Pigs. I know we put some of their music on there. They tend to do singles. This one I wasn't really much of a fan of, but kind of a quiet time for music. That's pretty much it with those two bands. I mean, you got some Viking metal and you got some Toxic.
The only new music I have, and I'm not going to get into this one, I met this guy today, and I feel one of the things we try and do is support like local music as much as possible.
Yes.
one of the guys who works at the camp that Xander, he was all setting up with his acoustic, and I was like, "Oh, you playing for the kids?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "It's one of the things I do. They love it." And
Acoustic guy.
And the kids all did requests, and he was going through some of the songs, like, ooh. He goes, "Yeah, tell me about it." His name is Connor Walsh. I think I'll share it on our page. He's got a lot of original stuff. I gave him a quick listen. I mean, he's good. He's a good musician. He's got a good sound. It's not the kind of stuff I'm going to like sit down and be like, I need to listen to this. Mm-hmm. But he's a really talented, good musician. I really liked him. And he's doing this contest. I told him I would vote for him. It's one of those like, hey, I want to go to this like music fest, and there's a contest to send you to this music festival.
Yeah, it's a tough thing when you're a musician. They always try to, make you shuck and jive out there. Like, hey, everybody vote for me. Trust me, I've been there.
I even talked to him about the Jimmy Needs a New Leg shows. He goes, "Oh my God, I'm so done with those." And he's a really nice guy, and he likes my kid. So
hey, that's important.
So I gave him a listen. The one I really do want to talk about, though, is that band I was telling you about.
I wanted to bring them up. We got to put them on the playlist.
Sick Bay.
Sick Bay.
Sick Bay is a thrash metal band out of the Hudson Valley. The guitarist for the band, I think he's the guitarist, is one of Mila's good friends' dad.
Yeah.
And I gave him a listen. I'm not a huge thrash metal fan.
I am.
I did notice when I saw their most recent thing that they posted, the event that they're playing. It's like Mike Stolper is interested in this, and they are playing the Chance on September 2nd.
Okay.
With Dying Fetus.
Fetus, bro. Gotta go see them. They're great.
They are playing Albany on September 11th at the Empire Underground.
Okay.
September 17th, they're playing the Back from the Dead Fest in Brooklyn. And that same one, a band we talked about a couple of weeks ago, Fire is Murder.
Yes.
Is playing that as well. I was like, oh, I get the 2-for-1 special.
There you go.
And they're playing Mutilated Fest in October.
Mutilated Fest. Now, where's Mutilated Fest?
That I don't know.
That's got to be in Vermont or something.
You could check out their Facebook. We'll share their Facebook page. They're a thrash metal band. I mean, they're...
Yeah, we're gonna throw some of this stuff on the Hey Pal What's New playlist, which we haven't really touched in the past couple of weeks. So we got to add some new fresh blood in there.
I mean, I'm not gonna pretend I'm not a thrash metal fan.
From what I listened to it, we listened to it before we jumped on mic. I was like, okay, this stuff I can get into. Yeah. I like them on Spotify.
I mean, they're in Maryland. They just played Long Island last night. They're playing somewhere else tonight, and then they're playing Maryland tomorrow. So it's not like they're not a popular band.
Yeah.
And from what he told me, they've played for some pretty big name bands, opening up for them. So
yeah, I mean that's what it's all about, man. We talk about it a lot, and I've been preaching about trying to get some good shows, original stuff. I mean, to be honest, past couple of weeks have just been I'm just kind of, I think we both kind of got the wind knocked out of us a little bit.
I want to try and see if we can set something up on that September 2nd show, which I think September 2nd's a Friday, right?
I'm sure it is, maybe.
I'm going to talk to him, the guy that I know from the band, and see if we could sit down with them maybe beforehand when they play the Chance. Go see the show, sit down and I'll bring some equipment and we'll do a quick little sit down interview.
Get a Zoom mic, yeah.
And talk to them about the band and what they do and where they do and just sit down and do an interview, because I feel like one of our things we do and we need to do is support these local bands. We talked about trying to put together a show of local bands too. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, and it's gonna happen, guys. I mean, we are, especially with this podcast, as you've probably noticed through this episode, we've been kind of taming it down a little bit. We want it to grow. We are fully invested in doing this, you guys, on a weekly basis. We love each other. We love doing this stuff. So we want it to grow. We want it to get out in front of a bunch of people. So
if only it could grow as fast as my waistline does.
Exactly. I mean, hopefully Belt Bro will sponsor us, because I'm wearing a Belt Bro right now.
This episode brought to you by Belt Bro. Tired of belts digging into your belly? Try Belt Bro.
Yes, it's good stuff. But yeah, we're really... Dude wipes. And dude wipes.
Belt Bro and dude wipes.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So we're really looking to kind of grow this podcast. We're going to start, we're not going to get watered down. We're still going to be the same vulgar idiots that we've always been. But, maybe we stop talking about, freaking jizz and penises and, all kinds of stuff and actually try to, do a regular show. Put some more content into it, put some more money into it, which, we're going to need your help. So if you guys are listening to this and you like what we do and you want to support the band, you want to support I'm still a musician. If you want to support the podcast, buy our merch, like, share, subscribe, download. We're going to start doing.
That's the easiest thing to do is buy a t-shirt.
Yeah. That stuff,
Wash your car with it. I don't give a shit. Just buy a t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. We have some good quality merch on. My boys got one on right now.
This is an exclusive. I don't know that this is even up on the store.
I will say, though, if you do go to the merchandise link on heypalwhatsnew.com, I did make a Yikes shirt.
Yikes!
So, more content like that. We're thinking about doing a little bit more of a not family friendly, but just, a little tamed down. But we will be doing some sort of a Patreon thing where you can, if you liked the stuff that we did, the late to the party stuff, the ranks, the deep dives, stuff like that, you're going to see us a lot more on social media doing, trailer reactions, out of the theater reactions. We really want this stuff to grow and to get out there.
I'm full bore going into trying to understand these kids today and doing these stupid challenges. If you haven't seen me doing that, the Sprite challenge, Mila was telling me about it, and I was like, all right, I don't get it. Hold on, let me see. I was like, that's bull. I was like, drinking an entire Sprite without burping, in the middle of doing it.
Yeah,
I you kids are a bunch of freaking amateurs.
Oh, yeah.
And I did it, and then I belted out a burp at the end. She's like, oh, you burped. I was like, but I made it to the end of the bottle. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Get to the end of the bottle without burping. Yeah. And I will say is and I don't know if you've heard this. I think I mentioned it to you. And I can't let it go. There's this group of kids, and I know it's completely off topic, called the Kia Boys. There's a whole thing going on around about the fact that Kia and Hyundais that's pre-2022 that use a key to start.
Yep.
That you literally just pop off the housing on the steering column.
Yep.
And take a USB cable and put it on this little thing in there and turn it, and it just starts the car.
Good
to know. And these kids are stealing these cars and going for fucking joyrides. And they did this, someone did a documentary and talked to this gang in Milwaukee, I think it was.
Yeah.
And, the kids are sitting there, yo, I just steal this shit. It's easy. I steal 4 or 5 cars a day, go for a couple of joyrides, and hold on. Wait, no, nobody knows who I am. I'm like, who do you think you're fooling with a shirt pulled up half over your face and showing how you're stealing cars, and then they're joyriding through stealing cars on camera? I was like, how stupid are you?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
No, I gotta stay in school, man.
Teenagers are fucking dumb.
Oh my god. And that's the thing is they said, they're look, stealing a car and taking it for a joyride, it's a fucking misdemeanor.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jail, and we're kids, so they're not throwing us away.
Yeah.
They're just ticket, here you go.
Yeah.
There's no
you
consequences.
crazy kids, get out of here. The Kia Boys.
The Kia Boys. Yo, what gang you in? Yo, I'm in the Kia Boys.
Yo, forget that, man. I'm going to start my own gang. King Archies.
The lemon yellow slushies.
Yeah, the Ducky Boys.
So stupid.
Talk about another freaking movie. Oh, boy, The Wanderers. That's my favorite. Don't fuck with the Baldies. We did.
So I think we did it again.
I think we did, man. So listen,
I did it again.
Be on the lookout for the social stuff.
I'm maybe trying to do more of those the hip kid trend things just to see what it's all about. Of these TikTok challenges. I will not be stealing a fucking Kia. Okay.
No, we're not going to be
stealing cars.
Kias.
Nothing illegal. But I'm going to start doing some of those challenges just to see what all the hype's about.
Maybe the burrito challenge, the tortilla challenge. Have you seen that? Oh, my God.
Is that where you hit someone in the face with a tortilla?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Hart and The Rock
did it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just slap each other. You do the rock, paper, scissors, and then whoever loses gets hit in the face with a burrito.
Right, but they did it with a mouthful of water, too. So.
Oh, that's the thing. You're not supposed to spit. Guys, We used to just go to the Rocks and look at nudie magazines and smoke Winstons. What is this?
What is this?
I don't understand.
Look, dude, take it from someone who teaches high school. It's like, it's not so much about what I'm teaching. It's how entertaining I am to them.
Yeah.
If I'm not entertaining, they're not freaking paying attention because they don't care.
Well, it's short attention span theater. That's why all these things are like TikToks. Like now with TikToks that they're like 3 minutes, it's almost just like, even me, I'm like, scroll. Wait, you don't have my attention yet. Scroll. It's bad.
Next.
Yep.
So
yeah, man. So keep on the eye out. Keep on the eye out. What the?
Keep an eye out for our increased social media presence.
Hey, spellbound toast.
I don't know that the Patreon's coming anytime soon. I will tell those of you who are thinking about going back and listening to old episodes, we are going to be pulling a lot of the old episodes and just archiving them, because when we drive people to our Spotify and our YouTube, we don't really want them. It's not that you don't want them watching the old stuff. It's like, watch the newer stuff as we get more in a groove of what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to turn people off by them turning on that first episode where we're sitting out in the night in their backyard here. It's like cricket.
Oh yeah, we definitely, as the winks have gone on, we're getting it, and we're loving what we're doing, and we want to keep doing this, and we want a lot of people to see it. So we have to kind of tame it down a little bit. But if we do start a Patreon, if we do start something like that, more of that filthy 30 content and all these other special things, let us know, man. Which ones did you like? Did you like the late to the party episodes? Did you like a rank episode? Do you want us to do a deep dive on a specific type of movie? Let us know, man. We want to know. Engage.
I'm just trying to figure it out. I don't know. I gotta look. My shiny hiney. I think we are literally coming up on the 1 year anniversary here.
Ooh, we're gonna have to do something special for that.
Because I just looked at like our YouTube channel and was like, when was our first episode? And it's like, 11 months ago was the Water Wings video.
Yeah, the Water Wings, where it all started.
The 2-minute little clip of like that I threw like little moving pictures.
Yep.
For it was 11 months ago.
Wow, we're getting close, man. Yeah, I mean, we've been doing this for a while, and we're hoping to keep doing it. So,
hell yeah.
Be on the lookout for more stuff with us, and if you tell a friend, buy some T-shirts, support the podcast, because I want to be as big as Howie Mandel.
Me, I just want to be as big as Brendan Fraser in that movie where he's 600 pounds.
Yeah.
And with that, I'm going to go eat a fucking cheeseburger.
Yummy.
Sex toy market was primarily aimed towards women.
Absolutely.
Vibrators, dildos, like all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a lot of options. I think we had the Fleshlight.
Yes.
Broke the market wide open. You look at that little